Hey y'all! So this is the help video for the Unit 2 Assignment 3 in Schoology. So this one says, what's the solution? Which means we need to solve it and see what we get. So, let me go here. Notice we have an x on each side of the equation. So we need to do the opposite to get those on the same side. Since this is a positive 4x, I'm going to subtract 4x's from each side. 4x's minus 4x's, that cancels. And I'm going to bring my 3 straight down. And then 4x's, take away 4x's, again, that cancels. And I'm going to bring my 1 straight down. And then I'm left with this weird looking equation that says 1 equals 3. Well, 1 does not equal 3. That is not true. That's a false statement, which means that this equation has no solution. There is no value that you could plug in for x that would make this equation equal or make it work. So this one has no solution. All right, let's check out this one. I'm going to write it bigger. 6x minus 6 equals 0. We want to know what's the solution. So I'm going to draw my line down my equal sign and box off my letter. And then I'm going to look on the side that has the letter and I'm going to ask myself, what do I need to get rid of? I need to get rid of this minus 6, so I'm going to add 6 to both sides because we do opposites or inverse operations. 0 plus 6 is 6. Now I need to get rid of the 6 over here to get x by itself. Right now it says 6 times x, and the opposite of multiplying is dividing, so I'm going to divide each side by 6. Now usually right here we just say it cancels, but I want to be very clear about what happens here. If you type 6 divided by 6 in your calculator, that equals 1. So typically what we do here is we say, oh, that cancels, because we don't always write the 1 in front of the x. We usually just write x, and whenever you see an x, you know that that means 1x. But I just want to be very clear that it does equal 1. So when you do 6 divided by 6 over here, you can't just mark it out. You have to say that that equals 1. So our final answer here is that x equals 1. And whenever you plug in a 1 here, this equation would be true. So our x value is 1. All right, what's the solution here? I'm going to write it bigger. And then I'm going to draw my line down the equal sign to get myself started. Now, the first thing I notice here, I could go ahead and box off my x if I want to, but I hope you notice that we have parentheses, and we got to get rid of those parentheses. So we are going to distribute. The 3 is the mailman. We're going to send him to every house inside our neighborhood. And when we do that, we multiply. So 3 times x is 3x. We're distributing it. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Same thing on this side. We have to distribute. Our 2 is our mailman, so he's going to distribute. 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times negative 11 is negative 22. So we got rid of our parentheses, which is awesome. Now we still need to finish solving for x. Oops, I thought I changed the color. Here we go. So I have a 3x on this side and a 2x on that side. I need to get them on the same side. So I'm going to get rid of the 2x. Whenever you have to go across this line, remember you always have to do opposites or inverse operations. So the opposite of a positive 2x is a negative 2x. I'm going to subtract 2x's from each side. 2x take away 2x is 0. That cancels. I'm going to bring my negative 22 straight down. 3x take away 2x is 1x. And remember, we don't always write the 1 there. You could just write it as x if you wanted to. I'm still trying to get the x by itself. So now I need to look on the side that has the x and see what to get rid of. I need to get rid of my minus 6. The opposite of minus 6 is to add 6. So I'm going to bring down my 1x. And remember, you don't have to have the 1 in front of it. If the 1 bothers you, just leave it off. X and 1x are the same thing. And then for negative 22 plus 6, that would be a negative 16. Now, if you did still have the 1 there and you wanted to get rid of it, then you could divide each side by 1. And x would equal negative 16. No matter what, you will get x equals negative 16. All right, what's the solution? Again, we got some parentheses, so let's start off by distributing. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 4 is 12. and then I'm just bringing the minus 2 straight down. I'm going to distribute on this side as well. 2 times 2x is 4x, 2 times 5 is 10, and then I'm going to bring the minus x straight down. Now, since I don't see a number there, I'm going to go ahead and put a 1. Remember, it doesn't matter if you write it with or without the 1. You just have to understand that there is a 1 there. Now, let's find all of our x's. Let's box them all off. Okay, so notice I have 2 x's on the same side. Since they're on the same side, we are not going to do inverse operations. We're just going to combine like terms. I'm going to say 4x's minus 1x is 3x's. And then I'm going to bring my plus 10 straight down. And I can also combine like terms over here. Notice we have a plus 12 and a minus 2. Those are both just regular numbers. So I could go ahead and combine those. And 12 minus 2 is 10. And then I'm just bringing my 3x straight down. Now you might already notice something from this step right here. We have the exact same thing on both sides. If you don't notice it yet, that's fine. You can still do the opposite to get the x's on the same side. 3x take away 3x is 0. 3x take away 3x is 0. So we're left with 10 equals 10. That is a true statement. 10 does equal 10. So that means we could plug in any number for x. We could plug in a 5 and it would work. A negative 2 would be a solution. 1 million would be a solution. Every single number you plug in for x would be a solution. So we call this infinitely many solutions. For an abbreviation, I'm going to use the infinity sign, infinitely many. Or you could spell it out. But no matter what number you plug in, it will be a solution. So there are infinitely many solutions. So this is actually your answer. 10 is not your answer. Your answer is infinitely many. All right, what's the solution here? We're going to draw our line and box off our letter. I have letters on each side, so I need to get them to the same side. It does not matter which one you get rid of. I tend to get rid of the smallest one, so I'm going to get rid of 3x from each side. But if you get rid of 4x, it'll work out just fine. So I'm left with 1 equals 4x take away 3x is 1x. And again, it doesn't matter whether you put that 1 there or not. But we are trying to get x by itself. So now I look on the side that has x and I need to get rid of negative 6. The opposite of minus 6 is to add 6. So I'll add 6 to each side and I'll get x equals 7. Now notice when I brought this down, I didn't put the 1 there just because I don't want it. But if you want the 1 there, that's fine. It gives you the same answer. X equals 7 or 1x equals 7. They both mean the same thing. All right, what's the solution for this one? So we're going to draw our line down our equal sign and box off our letter. And of course, we're going to ask ourselves what is on the same side as the letter that we need to get rid of. And to begin with, we need to get rid of minus 7. The opposite of subtracting 7 is adding 7. So we're going to add 7 to both sides. I'm going to bring this straight down. And 3 plus 7 is 10. Now I'm not done until I get the x by itself. So I need to get rid of this divided by 3. And when I see divided by 3, I have to ask myself, what's the opposite of dividing? Well, the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So I'm going to multiply each side by 3. The 3's will cancel, leaving me with 1x. And 10 times 3 is 30. So 1x equals 30. And it does not matter whether you put the 1 there or not. All right. We have another one, so let's keep solving. Draw the line down the equal sign and box off your letters. I have a 4x minus an x, and then on this side I have a 3x. So I hope you notice that these two are on the same side. Since they are on the same side, we do not use opposite operations. We just combine like terms. I'm going to go ahead and put a 1 here. So 4x minus 1x gives me 3x's. I do not do opposites unless I'm doing it to both sides to cancel something out. Now I can also combine like terms on this side because I have 7 numbers plus 3 numbers. And I know that 7 plus 3 is 10. So I'm just going to bring the 3x down plus 10. From here, you might already notice that both sides are the exact same. Wow, I feel like we just did this problem. Did we just do this problem? Oh no, but it ended up as 10 equals 10. That's crazy. So since both sides are the exact same, I'm going to end up in a situation where no matter what I plug in, it is going to work because this is a true statement. So I have infinitely many solutions. Now remember, it doesn't have to say 10 equals 10. That was just ironic that they both ended up that way. Your equation could say 2 equals 2 or x equals x. Any true statement, anything that's actually equal, will give you infinitely many solutions. All right, we're still moving right along. We see this parentheses, so we got to get rid of that first. And the way we get rid of parentheses is we distribute. So that -3 is going to get multiplied by each of those. -3 times x and -3 times -5, which is a positive 15. So that sign does change. And then I'm just going to write this side. I'm just going to write it down. And then I'm going to find my x. They're on opposite sides of the line, so I do have to do opposite operations. I can't just combine those because they are not on the same side. So the opposite of -3 is to add 3. I'm going to add 3 x's to each side. -3x plus 3x is 0. That cancels. I'm going to bring my -5 straight down. -3x plus 3x, that's also 0. That cancels. So I'm going to bring my 15 straight down. And 15 does not equal -5. That is not a true statement. Since it's not true, that means nothing will work. This one is no solution. There is nothing you can plug in that would make that work. Nothing's going to make it equal, so there's no solution. All right, what's the solution for this one? We're going to go ahead and distribute to get rid of those parentheses. 2 times x and 2 times -2. And then we box off our x and we try to solve for it. So we need to get rid of the -4. And the opposite of -4 is to add 4. Now notice I'm not getting rid of the 12 because 12 is not on the same side as x. I'm always trying to get x by itself. So make sure that you're doing things that help to get x by itself. So I get 2x equals 16. I'm still trying to get x by itself. Right now I have 2 times x. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. So I will divide each side by 2 and x equals 8. Same thing, what's the solution? So draw your line, box off your letter, and ask yourself, what do we need to get rid of? We need to get rid of a +5, so we're going to subtract 5 from each side. Bring the x divided by 6 down. And 11 minus 5, what is 11 minus 5? 6. I had to think about that for a minute. And we're trying to get the x by itself. Right now it says x divided by 6. The opposite of dividing is multiplying. So we're going to multiply each side by 6. These would cancel, leaving you with 1x, and 6 times 6 is 36. So that has one solution at x equals 36. And that is it for this lesson. So good luck, and I hope you score 100.